Until today, U.S. officials told me that there were three things North Korea still needed to demonstrate before launching a nuclear-tipped ICBM, or intercontinental ballistic missile, that could strike the United States. And that is successfully demonstrate the ability to hit a target, successfully demonstrate the ability to have some kind of re-entry vehicle, successfully go into space and successfully come back down to Earth, and three, miniaturize a nuclear warhead and place it on top of a missile. And as the Washington Post reported today, it appears that North Korea has taken that step. Officials here at the Pentagon, John, are not commenting about that confidential or classified report, but it certainly is very ominous.
Report apparently was concluded last month. The Washington Post just getting it into print now. Are you hearing people at the Pentagon sort of poo-pooing this at all? I mean, this comes from the Defense Intelligence Agency. Sometimes they don't always agree with the Pentagon's own intelligence assessments.
Well, that's correct, John. The DIA is not located here at the Pentagon. They're across the river. So nobody is shooting down this report, no pun intended, but they're taking it very seriously, but they're just not commenting right now. It is worth noting that the Trump defense budget actually cuts missile defense. So while they're planning for 44 ground-based interceptors by the end of the year, members of Congress, the chairman of the House Armed Services Committee, Republican Mac Thornberry, wants to increase missile defense, as well as Senator John McCain. Now, of course, with all the focus on missile defense, it is worth, John, talking about the Pentagon's missile offense. The United States has over 400 intercontinental ballistic missiles of its own located in bases across 3 states in Montana, South Dakota, and Wyoming. And these missiles are called Minutemen IIIs. They're in silos. The crews there are on alert 24/7 to launch a strike or a retaliatory strike should North Korea or any other nation launch a nuclear strike against the United States. There are also ballistic missile submarines. The Navy has over a dozen Ohio-class ballistic missile submarines. Normally, there's always a bunch of them on deployment. Each one of these submarines, John, carries 24 Trident D5 intercontinental ballistic missiles. Each one of those missiles carries up to 10 independent warheads. So theoretically, one U.S. Navy ballistic missile submarine can take out 240 cities. That's just one submarine, and there's always a bunch of these on deployment. The Air Force also has strategic bombers, B-52 and B-2 bombers, which can be deployed anywhere around the world. You saw in January, toward the end of President Obama's presidency, B-2s launched from a base in Missouri, flew across the world, and dropped bombs on ISIS. It was a conventional strike. But clearly that was a message sent to some of America's adversaries that the U.S. Air Force does have the ability to launch long-range bombers, can refuel a number of times, and conduct strategic strikes anywhere in the world.